So when it comes to social media, is it better to focus on organic content or paid content? Well, let's go ahead and answer that question for you right now. Now, just before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe to our Mindshow 101 YouTube channel so you do not miss another marketing tip. So let's get started here. Is it better to, well, when it comes to social media, go with the paid route or the organic route? I got my 2 cents on both. The first thing I'm going to share with you is if you're not doing the organic, don't even bother with the paid. Just spending money to put yourself out there when nobody knows you and you don't engage with people. Well, that's not what social media is all about. Social media is meant to be social media. So your first key here before you spend any money, you've got to ensure that you're being social. Make sense? Now, there are a few different factors to consider when you think about what does my organic game look like, and if I do go down this paid road, what should I be considering there as well? Let's get into those right now. Okay, when it comes to organic content, we got 4 factors I want you to think about here. The first one, cost effective. We know that social media is free. It's free to set up an account. It's free to post content. It's free to post other people's content. It's free to make friends with people. It's free to have conversations. It's free to comment with people. It's free to build relationships. Now, if you've got a business, if you're in sales, whatever it is that you do, that's what social media is all about. It's all about connecting with other people. So when we look at a cost factor, well, the whole thing is free. Let's take advantage of it. The next one here is authenticity. One thing we see a lot of people doing is they dress up in fancy suits and they lean on fancy cars in front of fancy houses with fancy watches. And well, hey, none of that fancy stuff is them. Are they really fancy? You see a lot of people posture out there. The way you're going to win, and we come back to the whole point of it's social media, is when you're you. When you are you, people realize you are you. See, me, I'm being me right now. This is not scripted. I just do me. And hopefully you look at it and go, you know what? I like this guy. I like his content. I like his delivery. I want to learn from this guy. And hey, we got a lot we can teach you. FYI. The whole thing being, you got to be authentic. You've got to be you. I want you to think about this. If you're not being you and you're trying to be somebody else, then you're lying to your audience. And people are going to smell the lie right away. People are not going to come back. Much the same, if I do meet you online and at some point I meet you in person, you better be the same person, or I might realize that you're lying, and then credibility goes out the window. So again, when it comes to social, being authentically you, which really does impose a lot of fear by people because they go, what are they going to think of me, and what are people going to say about me? Hey, don't worry about it. Put yourself out there, get comfortable with who you are, be who you really are, and well, hey, your vibe will attract your tribe. Another consideration here, results. What are we measuring on? What are we expecting? I'm going to share with you, don't expect anything. What? Well, here's the thing. When it comes to organic social media, it really is, again, about connecting with other people. So what kind of results are you looking for? I mean, look, you definitely don't want to be gauging who you are and your self-worth based on the amount of views you get or likes you get or comments you get on a post. Sometimes your post isn't going to go anywhere, maybe because it wasn't a good post, or maybe because the social media platform you posted it to just didn't serve it up to people that day. Maybe people saw it, but they were okay with it. Then there's other things you're going to post that are going to get incredible engagement. Do not base your self-worth, like I just said, based on the views, the likes, the comments, or any of that. Do not make social media the measuring stick for whether you have value in this world. Again, be who you are. Be consistent with your efforts on social. Remember that it's social. This is your online coffee shop. This is your online social club. Go talk to people. Don't measure whether you've got success, again, based on those various metrics. Be consistent about your efforts. Have those conversations. And in time, you'll have more conversations. And in time, well, you're going to begin to grow in a variety of different places, whether it's personally, whether it's professionally, maybe it's both. And it probably will be if you're doing a consistent job getting out there. Which takes us to our last point when we come to organic content, time and effort. Hey, don't kid yourself. Just paying somebody to do your social media for you is like paying somebody to go to a party for you. It doesn't make sense. You need to put in the time and you need to put in the effort. You wouldn't send somebody to a coffee shop for you to have a conversation with me, would you? Have a coffee with me? Like if I was like, hey, want to go have a coffee? Yeah, let's meet up tomorrow at 10 a.m. Okay, great. I show up and somebody else is there like, yeah, so-and-so sent me. What? Why? Now, when it comes to social, let's come back to the online part of it, not the coffee shop. When it comes to social, it's the same idea. If you're going to comment on my post and wish me a happy birthday or whatever post I put up and you want to say something, it should be you. So it's going to take time. You want to put up a post. You want to put out some content. You want to be consistent about that content, like I just mentioned. It's going to take effort. So we've got to ensure, and again, this goes back to a common theme in a lot of stuff that I teach you throughout these videos, is time blocking, mapping, looking at when do you have the opportunity to get that post put together, and then when do you have the opportunity in your day to actually put that post out to the world. Now, the reality is, when you're blocking time properly and you're always prepared and you're living that Monday starts on Sunday lifestyle that we talk about so often, well, now you're going to know exactly when you have time to go ahead and create the post, whether it's a video like this or it's just a regular post. You're going to have the time to put it together. There's your preparation. Then you're going to have the time to go into your calendar and say, this is when I'm going to post it. Now, this is a bigger conversation around creating a content calendar so you are consistent. And I will put a shameless plug in here right now and tell you, go over to my website, mindshow101.com, if you haven't already. Check out everything we have to offer. And specifically, download the Ultimate Marketing Bundle. It's a 31-page ebook. It talks about the 7 different channels you should be using to communicate with people when it comes to ongoing marketing. It also provides a 90-day social media content calendar to help speed up that process of, what am I going to post? See, we'll spark the idea in your mind. Now you just got to go put the post together, and then you got to put it out. Again, I'm going to encourage you, always blocking the time. Block the time for the research, block the time for the preparation, and then block the time for the actual posting and engaging with other people. And these may be 3 different times of the day, 3 different times of the week. That's okay. Again, preparation is paramount to really having the success that we ultimately want. Now, let's move over to paid ads. Why would I go and spend money on social media when the entire thing is free? Well, this is the idea here, is that social media at one point realized all these people and all these businesses are exploiting our platform. So we're going to charge businesses if they want to get out there. So for example, your business page, it's really only be seen by a very small percentage of people. And in order to get it seen by more, the social platforms have said, hey, pay us. So now we've got some considerations, well, we want to consider when it comes to spending money on social media. First one here, your target audience. Who are you speaking to? What kind of message are you delivering to them? What do you want to tell them? Why should they care about it? And well, what do you want from them? So fully understanding who is our target audience is going to be a key metric when you are figuring out where to spend the money. Because there are billions of people on social media. We definitely don't want to be talking to billions. We just don't have the budget for that. No companies really do. I mean, maybe the biggest of the big. However, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a salesperson, you own a business, maybe not a Fortune 500, well, again, we've got to be very strategic in how we spend the money on this platform. So we want to figure out who is our target audience. Now, another factor to consider here is that once you do figure out your target audience and you do decide you're going to commit some money to spending, well, from there, we are looking at results. Okay, we are looking at visibility. We are looking at how many people are actually going to see this. Because again, when you put out an organic post, people will see it, but the metrics that come back in terms of measuring tools, what kind of effectiveness did it have? How many people clicked on it? You're not going to get those same metrics. But when you spend money, these platforms do provide that to you, as you know. So now we're able to say, okay, we've been out there. We've been in front of the target audience. Here's what we ran. Here's what kind of impact it had. And now we've got metrics to be able to measure from. Another factor here, scalability. Once we start to put ourselves out there, we figured out the target audience, we spent the money, we're starting to get some traction, we're able to look at the metrics. Now we want to look and say, well, what's working and what's not? Because the minute you find out what's working, now we take that and we can start to double down. Now we take that and we can start to 10 times the amount of investment we're putting in because we get what the ROI is. That being said, my caution to you is, don't go big right away. Start to test the water, start to test the market, start to test the content. Once you figure out what works, then we can scale. Finally, and this sticks with the concept of money, is cost and considering how much money we have to put towards this. So we set a target on who's the audience. We looked and we said, okay, I know that I'm going to get the visibility. We talked about metrics. We talked about once we figured out how to scale, now we got to look at cost. The biggest issue most people have when they get into marketing is they just go start spending money. They think they're just going to have a solution for something. We're just going to spend it and see how it goes. Well, this is where people get into hot water. We didn't set a budget. Before you do anything, figure out how much money you have to spend to put towards this plan. Remembering too, you can't put every dollar you have towards this. We've got to make sure that we've got enough dollars to go around for everything else we're doing to run our business. So again, from a social media perspective, don't go big or go home right away. Set a marketing budget that you feel is affordable. Setting a marketing budget that you feel you can afford not only for the first month, but for maybe the next 3 months. Within 3 months, we should have enough data to tell us what is and what isn't working. Now we can scale. And if we can, if the opportunity's there and we see it, the ROI, well, hey, go ahead and put more money down. The last thing we want to do is spend a whole bunch of money blindly without having a plan, without having a target, without having a goal, and not really knowing what it is that we're looking to achieve. Because now you're just going to be, well, blowing money out the back door, and that's not a real strategic way to go about spending your money. So finally, to sum this up, the thing that we need to understand, again, and I'm going to remind you like I did off the top here, social media is a social platform. It's not a business platform. That being said, if you want to take advantage through business, we can go ahead and spend money. However, again, my encouragement to you, be organic. Get out there, be who you are. Create a content counter to keep you consistent. Start to engage with people. Act with purpose on social media on a daily basis. And this is whether you're spending money and running ads or not. Every single day, you want to have a block of at least 30 minutes in your calendar for social media. And we block it because otherwise you're going to be spending 3 hours. And, well, that's just a waste of time. You have a block of about 30 minutes in your calendar. You get up, you go over to your favorite social media platform, scroll the feed, engage with 5 to 10 people, clicking like, commenting, throwing them a reaction of some sort. Then go up to the stories and do the exact same thing. Clicking like, engaging, saying something, asking a question. 5 to 10 people in the stories as well. That's now 10 to 20 people on that platform. If the platform is follow people or friend requests, go ahead and do some of that. Then you can go ahead and post your content. See, the one thing you got to remember is we need to trigger the algorithms. These platforms are very smart. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background to say whether or not they're going to push your content out there. If you want your content to get out there further, it's not just about spending money, it's about getting involved in the conversation. So now you've just got a whole bunch of factors you can consider between whether or not you should be spending money or just going the organic route, or maybe doing a little bit of both. If you got questions, throw them in the comments. We'll be right here for you.